Hello and welcome back to Fishing Gear and Tech News FGTN podcast that we do every Tuesday, most Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central. Today, we've got an awesome episode prepared for you. We're going to talk about some of the new fishing gear that came out within the last couple of weeks since we've last talked, some older gear that was gone and now it's back that we're going to talk about. Fishing tournaments. That is the theme for ice fishing season. There's a few fishing tournaments that are coming up. We'll talk about a few of them, how to stay in tune with those. We're going to talk about a few deals and some of the news that's been going on around ice fishing, all in today's action-packed episode. Of course, I'd love to hear who's here, where you're tuning in from. Drop it in the chat. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, we'll see the chat here. So let me know, where are you tuning in from? Have you been on the ice yet? So I can say hi to you as we go throughout the stream. So while people are dropping in the chat who is here, we're going to go ahead and pull up the screen and we're going to jump right on in. First up, you're going to see this here. You're like, hey, is this new? And it is new to some people if you've just been getting into ice fishing the last couple of years. They've been at least really hard to find. There was a point in time where due to imports and shortages on parts, they couldn't get the big buddy heaters with the fans. Well, guess what? They're back and they actually have a new name now. You'll see the Mr. Heater Big Buddy Pro Series. All the Pro Series means is exactly what it shows here. It has an electric ignition, which is exciting, and it has a built-in high-powered fan. So the fan is back. I hope you're all as excited as I am. They've got the off, the pilot, the low, medium, and high. And then, of course, you can see the grade across the top for the fan. This is $139. There's some places that you'll see will put it on sale for $20 off. So is this a brand new product? No, but it is a product that is coming back. Scheels has it available right now, $149.99. I think over the Thanksgiving, Black Friday holiday, Cyber Week holiday, they had it all the way down to $119. So that's kind of your floor, if you will, in terms of retail stores, what you can expect to get this Pro Series one with the fan back in stock. A lot of stores are still selling the Big Buddy heater without the fan in it. So you can definitely still find that available. Scheels right now has it available, as you can see on this page here, for $109.99 without the fan. If you want the fan, which I highly recommend, $149.99. I'm probably going to pick one of these up just to get the fan in it because it's nice to blow the air around. Of course, I use the Heat Hog heaters as well. Those are great. But between Mr. Heater and the Heat Hog heaters, they have pros and cons to both. Should probably do a video comparing the two here, and especially now that the Pro Series is back out. So I wanted to let you know about that. Now let's drop in the chat here and see who is here. Eric, we got tuning in. We might as well talk about ice fishing gear since there's no ice to speak of. We're going to talk about that in the news segment of the episode. If you have seen any of the news recently about probably the most famous lake in Minnesota that gets the early ice people going to it, which is Upper Red Lake. There's been a few issues out there the last couple of days here, which isn't uncommon, but the ice, yes, has been pretty bad. Utah Mike, just getting a little good ice here. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, Lake Mille Lacs around me is probably the one lake that has some pretty consistent ice on the south end. That is where I'm headed this upcoming weekend. I drove around the state a lot the last couple of weeks to just find out that the ice is not ready yet. We've had a pretty warm spell here. New York. Yes, you guys don't have ice either. Brandon, thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you here. Woodbury, Minnesota. Craig, nice to see you. Not on the ice yet. JW, John from Victoria, Minnesota. Thanks for tuning in. Robbie from Appleton. Mike Zappa from Owatonna. We've got Detroit, Michigan. Flock of Moosin. Nice to see you. Been on the ice 2 times. Hopefully go Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. That would be great. Crappie killing on ice, Metro Sunday and Monday, back out Friday, secret spot. Fred, you need to let me know of the secret spot. I would love to get on some ice around here. I know south end of the state, there's some small lakes too that not many people know of. A little far of a drive from me, but you can get on some ice down there too. JW, Nice to see a spin drive. Thanks for tuning in. Eric just picked up the portable buddy and ordered a 5-pound propane tank for weight savings. Wonderful idea. That 5-pound propane tank will last you a very long time, even on high on that portable buddy. So that's great. I think the portable buddy runs on a 1-pound propane tank for, I want to say it's 4 hours on high. So if you have 5 pounds, it's 20 hours constantly nonstop on a 5-pound tank. So that's pretty awesome. Would be good to see video comparing heat hog Mr. Heater. I'll have to do it. So hi to everybody. I'll say hi to other people as we go through the stream, but let's keep on going. So other than the Big Buddy Pro coming back with the fan in it, which is really exciting. It honestly is. The Fish Frostbite team has announced a couple weeks ago this Micro Scissorkick. So this is the Scissorkick has been out, but this is the micro size, the 1/12 ounce. This is a tiny little lure. I did not use it when it's bigger size, so I picked a few of these up this year in the last couple of weeks. I'm excited to use them. Just the color patterns on these are awesome. You can get them. They're at some of the ice shows. There's still one more ice show up in Detroit, Michigan, coming up here. So if you haven't been to your ice show around you, or go online, the deals we'll talk about at the end of the stream. There's a lot of retailers that are doing their Christmas deals right now. So make sure that you check those out. But they've got a ton of different colors here. Sparkle Shiner. But this is a relatively new announcement from them that I'm excited to use. And another thing that I want to talk about. And so you guys will have to let me know. Have you guys seen these at the ice shows? I think I've been in a couple Facebook groups talking about this a little bit. Again, no affiliation with any of these companies that we're talking about, but Cold Snap I saw this year at a couple of ice shows, and they have a new ice suit. So this is a float suit, but they're calling it their 4-season suit: spring, summer, fall, winter, one system. And this is unique. We're going to talk a little bit about what I know about it. Again, this is not a promotional thing for them in any way, shape, or form, even though it probably will be seen that way for them. I get no benefit if you buy this or don't buy it or whatever you want to say about it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the chat. So drop in there and let me know. So essentially what it is just like every other company out there, they have bibs and they have a jacket. They also sell the soft shell jacket separately. So what you get: float bibs, float jacket. Here's what's interesting about it. Like I'll compare it to the Striker climate suit. If you know Striker Ice, they have float suits, right? This is just an example. So the Striker Ice suit, you've got in the climate, it has a removable inner, just like this jacket. So you can see it here in this picture. The inside of the jacket can come out, and it's just a jacket. And then on the outside, you have a shell. This is similar to like the Striker climate. Here's what's different about it, though. The outside of this shell is just a rain shell. I say just, it's high end, well put together rain jacket. So the idea here is the 4-season is even in the summer when you need rain gear for out on the boat, you can wear just the shell. That's what's different versus anybody else that I've seen out there. So like Striker, and if you guys know of anybody else that does this this way of doing it, let me know. But this is fully waterproof. It's not water resistant, has a waterproof coating on it like all the others that I know of, but it's truly waterproof. It has no float in the shell. That's unlike Striker. So again, climate suit, you have an inner shell, which is a nice zip up jacket type of thing, like a nice fleece. It's really nice. You can take it out or put it in if you're warm or cold. And then you can just wear the shell for ice fishing. Well, you can do the same thing here, except the float technology is not in the shell. The float technology is on the inside liner that you can see here. This has the float in it. So if you take the liner out of the suit, you just have a rain suit on. You don't have flotation in the top. In it, I believe, is the same in the bottom. Excuse me. Where the bibs also have a liner that you can take out and have a rain suit bottom to them. Let me get back to them and take a drink here while I pull it up. I don't know why it's not pulling up. So similar to the jacket, you can pull out the bottom liner of these, if you want it to be lighter weight, but then you don't have float. So that's something that is definitely different than a lot of the other companies out there where the shell has the float in it. And the reason why you would maybe want the shell to have float in it is if it's too warm and you want a float suit, you can take the liner out to keep it a little bit cooler. This is the opposite. You have to take the outer shell off in order for it to still be a float suit. So I thought that was really interesting. They brag about on here, they have the highest end parts on everything that's out there. So they have the highest end zippers, which are YKK zippers. They say I would argue SBS zippers are just as good, but YKK, I'm not going to argue, are great zippers. So they have great zippers on them. They have really good stitching and lining. It is not ripstop fabric, though, that I pointed out to them. One thing that I think is interesting is this company, they've been on all their calls, and of course, they're their own company, is they say after a year of testing this and a couple of years of building the product, even to date, after talking to everybody at the shows, there's nothing we would do different. Well, there's a couple things that I would do different with their suit. One, I would make sure you have ripstop fabric, and that's really critical when you look at the price point of these suits. $699.99 for a pair of bibs is incredibly expensive. It is the most expensive float suit bibs on the market. If we go back to the jacket is $600, $599, the most expensive on the market today. So I would expect ripstop fabric. And here's the reason why. And if you don't know what ripstop fabric, essentially it's a weave pattern in the shell liner. And the reason why that's important is we all have mistakes happen. If you have a hook, because you're using this for fishing, and it is somebody's casting, you're using it maybe as a rain suit, or even in the winter, you brush up against a hook that's hanging there and it gets stuck in your jacket. If you put pressure on that and it rips into it, it will just continue ripping and you're going to have a big hole. Ripstop fabric has a weave that's weaved into the fabric. So even if you got a hook in there and you started pulling, it would be really hard to rip it. You'd have a little pinhole in it, but that's a lot better than having a big, long rip and tear in the fabric, which you then have to either put a patch on or something like that. So that's one thing I would do different. The second thing that I would do different is they're really advertising the 4-season, which is why they are coming in at this price point. Their argument for marketing is that you can buy one suit, the highest end float bibs, the highest end float jacket on the market. And yes, it's expensive, but you can really use it for 4 seasons. So you don't need to go out and buy an expensive rain suit as well. And you can layer with it. You can pull the inside jacket out. You can pull the inside liners of the bibs out, and so on and so forth. But again, as we've identified, that means you may or may not have float if you take the liner of the jacket out. So that's a big thing. I wouldn't necessarily change that, but I think it's important to know because you wouldn't want the float in the outside of the jacket if you're using it as rain gear, because that means you're going to sweat in it in the summertime. So you don't want that, which is, I understand why they did it this way. But I think that's a hindrance to the ice fisherman that doesn't want to not have that windproof outer shell. If they want to take a layer off, now you have to take the outside layer off if you still want to have float, which is a little bit of a tough battle. The second thing that I would change is they're arguing the rain suit functionality. So this hood, and this isn't new to the market, so I'm not coming up with new ideas, but one of the things in a hooded environment when you're out on a boat ripping across the lake is wind gets in your hood if you have your hood up, and it will blow your hood back off of your head. And if you're in the rain, you don't want that to happen. And you can try cinching it down as tight as you want so it can't move, but that gets really uncomfortable. There's a lot of things. In fact, Striker has UPF shirts that have this technology in them. The hood has a vent in the back, not in this. I wish they would have put it in this, but it's a pleat. So you have a vent in the back. So that way, as wind is coming into your hood, as you're cruising across the lake with this on as a rain suit, it's able to go right out the back instead of your hood flying off of your face. So those are two, what I would consider important product features that I would actually like to see improved on this. Now, I know that they probably never will, because it sounds like they took one shot at this and they did a really nice job. These are really nice suits. I'd love to wear one day and try it out. Now, am I going to pay $1,300 for it? I can't justify that when I've got a Striker Apex suit and when I've got a Striker Rain suit that I absolutely love. Like, I can't justify $1,300, but it is definitely a nice suit for somebody that doesn't have one yet. They don't have a rain suit, they don't have a float suit, and they're looking to get into a top of the line. This could be a really good option for you. I think there's a couple people that are out there that have them. It sounded like they maybe had a few suits being tested last year. And then this year they were at the shows, but most of the shows, they didn't even have inventory. They'd be shipping them to you, which it looks like they're for sale on their website now and you can buy them. So I'd love to know your guys' thoughts here. I'll try to take a look here while we're on the live stream and pull a couple up. But even if you're watching on the replay, let me know in the chat, and in the comment section. I'd love to jump in and hear what your guys' thoughts are. So we've got Mike Zappa, heard a podcast about Cold Snap suit. Sounded like it's very revolutionary. Would like to check it out. Yeah, they have high-end zippers, high-end fabric, deep pockets. Another thing that they talked about, and then we'll move on. I don't want to drain the whole stream on these guys here, which I actually like, is in the bibs, they have upper pockets. So not only do you have your normal pockets down here at your waist, I know this is probably hard to see. I'll try to blow it up. Not only do you have your normal waist type pockets here, but they actually have a breast pocket at the top. So if you think about, you're out on the ice, you don't have your shoulders hunched down, you can actually throw your hands up here, put hand warmers in the pockets. And it's just a better way to keep your hands warm and have a good posture while on the ice, which I thought was pretty awesome. They have the cinch straps around the sides that can pull in. They have cuffed the back of the the pants, so that way the back of the pants aren't dragging on the ground as you're walking, and then they get all torn up. So they put a lot of really good thought in it. Supposedly the best float technology they could find, the best insulation that they could find, and again, truly waterproof. So pretty excited to see what they do. No ice fishing this year in New York. Start selling your gear before it's too late. Nathan, funny guy. What is ripstop fabric? So we talked about that. Yeah, the Striker Apex suit for the hard deck and Sims Pro Dry for the open water. Yeah. $1,300 float suit should come with an outboard. Too funny. All right, I'm going to play you guys a video here that I got queued up, and then we'll jump back into the stream.
Joining us, dozens of people are home safe tonight after rescue crews were sent out to save them from the ice on Upper Red Lake.
The situation turned dire when an ice floe began to move away from shore. Sharon Yu joins us now. And Sharon, you spoke with Beltrami County first responders about this.
Yeah, Lauren, Randy, officials say it's way too early in the season, especially under windy circumstances like Upper Red Lake saw yesterday. And while the recommendation is technically 10 inches of ice for a snowmobile, you have to consider wind and other things factoring into that safety calculation as well.
Minnesotans love their winter.
Yeah, I'm gonna go dive underneath the ice on purpose.
So much that when it doesn't come fast enough, we force it to.
So all of the snow is saved from the trails at the ski area. So we take our big snowcats and we push it into a massive pile in a shaded area, kind of behind where all the action is.
But when winter isn't ready, no amount of eagerness can convince it.
Sometimes I feel like we're repeating the same message every year.
Evidenced by this rescue that happened Sunday afternoon, where an ice sheet broke off from Upper Red Lake, leaving 35 people stranded.
There was an open water of about 100 yards between the main portion of ice and the upper portion.
This, like winter, happens every year.
We see it more often than not up on Upper Red Lake just because of the geographical size of the lake and its inability to freeze over completely. We'll see probably 2 to 3 events that get reported to us. A lot of times the local resorts up there, part of the fee that you're paying to go out on the lake is for them to assist you should you need assistance.
But when an ice rescue needs to be done by law enforcement, the toll is heavy.
Especially during this time of the year, just because of the frequency of use. We do involve an ambulance crew. We do involve several fire departments. DNR and then law enforcement in general, and it does eat up a considerable amount of time and resources.
Luckily, no one was injured, but we just wanted to reiterate that departments like the Kelleher Fire Department, they're all volunteers. So after that rescue late into yesterday, they had to all go back to their day jobs today. So it's one of those things where it's nicer when folks are a little bit more careful and prudent about their actions. Lauren?
Yeah, definitely a good reminder, Sharon. Thank you.
You guys are funny. I was just watching the chat as that was playing. So that was a little bit of a news segment that came out late last night from one of my local news stations while I took a drink in the background to avoid coughing on the stream. So had that queued up. I don't have another one queued up, so hopefully I can handle not coughing until the end of the stream tonight. But yes, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. I don't necessarily agree with everything that they said in there in terms of 10 inches is the only thing that's considered safe ice. Definitely don't agree with that, but there's differences in types of ice. There's clear black ice, and then there's the opposite of that, which is honeycombed, really bad ice or ice that's been eaten away from the bottom, inconsistency. So I just thought that was an interesting, not everybody here lives in Minnesota, knows where Upper Red Lake is, but just wanted to let you know just make sure wherever you are in the country or in the world, I know there's people from Canada that watch and other places too. Just make sure you're checking the ice as you go out and make sure you have a backup plan. One of the things that I think they said in the video there was that, like, if you get rescued off the ice, they don't take your gear with you. They leave your gear out on the ice. They take you, and then maybe the next day during daylight, if you can get somebody to go out with an airboat, with a wind boat, with a wheel craft or something, they can maybe go get your gear for you. So just be careful when you're out there on the ice. All right. Eskimo announced a new product in the last couple of weeks here, the Mammoth Live Bait Bucket. So this is Mammoth is a cooler company, Mammoth Coolers. I don't have them, but they look really durable. It looks like the Yeti type coolers where they're roto molded, Arctic. There's a lot of different companies that do that type of thing, but this is an insulated bucket. I'll show you some of the pictures here. There's a spot on the side for an aerator to go, so you could throw an aerator hose in there, a big heavy duty handle. So you can kind of see here, and it looks like this is a removable cage on the side, heavy duty, really, really big bucket, if you will. And it looks like, yes, there is a drain hole on the bottom, so you can drain it out. Here's another close-up of that, and it does have rubber feet on the bottom. So this is a 10 quart capacity. It does not come in at a cheap price, $130. It's a pretty cool thing. I don't know if I'll be picking it up, but I wanted to let you guys know about it. If you're the kind of guy that loves having your bait bucket, this could be a really good option for you. Since it's insulated, I would argue maybe even year-round. So even in the summertime, it would probably keep the water fairly cool for you as well. So make sure to check this out if you're interested in it. That is from Eskimo. All right, another new product. This actually isn't out yet. This comes out in January. They started producing it and making it in July. This is called the Fuel Keg. If you haven't heard of it, it's from Mr. Heater. I'll have all the links to everything that we talk about down below after the stream. I've got to add them in there. So that'll be later tonight so you guys can get to these things. But this is Fuel Keg from Mr. Heater. Let me make sure I am zoomed in pretty far. So it's Fuel Keg, the refillable propane tank. So Flame King has these now. I think we're all aware of the Flame King refillable propane things where they have, it looks like almost the exact same nozzle here that comes off of a 20-pound propane tank that sits upside down. This is a little bit of a different mechanism to hold the 20-pound tank upside down. So that must be in the kit. And then they've got a refillable fuel canister. And now here's the deal. I don't care what you do. You do whatever you want. What I hear a lot of guys do that do refill propane tanks is they refill the green 1-pound Coleman cylinders or whatever you buy. I don't recommend that for safety reasons. I don't do that. I use the Flame King refillables. The reason is a couple of things. And I know some people may disagree with me on this because they're expensive. Even the Flame King ones, I think, are like 15 or 20 bucks for each. But at $5 to $8 a 1-pound tank, they cover the cost of themselves pretty quickly. The benefit of the refillable ones is this nozzle up top. So they've got a nozzle here that you can use with a little key ring This is probably the best picture of it. So I'll zoom in. There's not a whole lot of pictures of it. So you can see here, there's like this little D ring that you turn and then it stays open. And what you do when you're refilling it is as the propane's filling, once it gets full, it'll actually start blowing propane out of this little port here. It's a breather port. And then you just screw it shut and you're good to go. This is better than on the Flame King. I haven't used it yet, so I don't know for sure. But by design and what they're saying and what I've looked at, this looks better than the Flame King ones. The Flame King ones, you have a little Allen wrench that you have to use. So you got to always have that and don't lose it. And it's tiny. I just tape them to the can, so I always have it. But that's a different design here. And, you know, hey, I like the black. I think it looks pretty cool. So these are refillable. The reason why you go with refillable is a couple of reasons. One, it's safer. The canisters are intended to be refilled because you're going to be able to make sure that you can bleed it, and it's going to tell you when you need to close it up and not fill it anymore. You can't really overfill them with this type of mechanism. Whereas the 1 pound canisters, it's possible to overfill and then they could explode. The second reason is you get, if you're technically going to be driving on the road with it, it is DOT certified. So Department of Transportation here in the United States has regulations on moving propane tanks. You can't refill a 1 pound cylinder, the green ones, like the Coleman ones. You can't refill those and put them in a vehicle and drive on the road with them. I think there's a certain number specifically commercially that gets you in trouble too. But these are DOT certified, just like the Flame King ones. And then the third reason is you can get the canister fuller. So there's a lot of guys that'll say things like, make sure you freeze your 1 pound tank before you fill it up and heat the 20 pound, at least to room temperature. So that way it goes in better. There's a lot of different tricks to it, but these will get full all of the time. So up to you if you want to do it. I like the idea of the competition. I have no clue what the price point's going to be on these, but you can go to their website right now. Again, I'll drop this in the link down below and have it as a pinned comment, but you can win a fuel keg. You can enter the drawing to win into it. The whole reason why they're doing this, which makes sense, Mr. Heater would do something like this. I'm surprised it took them so long to do this, but their goal is to help eliminate waste. So there's about 50 million of the 1 pound propane tanks that are disposed of annually. So they're trying to come up with more economical ways, environmental friendly ways to get 1 pound cylinders out there without having them all just be disposed of. So pretty cool product. Nice to see the innovation from these companies. A couple changes from the Flame King one. All right. As we continue moving here, Ego. This says new. I think it came out a little while ago, but it's new to me, so I haven't seen it yet. So I want to tell you guys about it. This is a soft-sided cooler from Ego. Here's a better picture of it. Take a drink here. And it's a soft-sided bait cooler. So you've got a removable net that goes inside of the bait cooler. So it's just like any other bait cooler that's out there. You have an aerator pocket and an aerator hole that you can actually put it in there for. It's insulated. It looks really cool. I haven't used it, but I might pick one up just to see how well they do. Supposedly the circle design instead of like a cooler design, like an Engel cooler. This is supposedly better for your minnows. It's less stress on them because they can just keep going in a circle rather than running into walls. I don't know. Seems a little silly to me, but hey, if it works and keeps my super expensive shiners alive longer, it's probably worth a shot. So I'll look to maybe pick one of these up this year and let you guys know about it. And I'll have it linked down below as well. This is kind of a funny, silly product, but I saw it in an ice show, so I wanted to tell you guys about it. It's called bucket grips. So it's exactly what you see here in the picture. It's a couple of handles that go onto a bucket. So this can go on a 5 or 6 gallon bucket. You can just clip it right on. The idea is it's an easier way to move around your bucket. So whether you're using it for ice fishing, open water fishing, moving dirt, or whatever you're doing with your bucket, I thought this was pretty interesting. You can buy them right here on their website. I don't know where else, but it's only $10.95. So it's not a super ridiculous price for a super simple product. But yeah, just want to drop that in there and let you guys know about it. All right, moving on to fishing tournaments. So I love ice fishing tournaments. If you're the kind of person that likes to go out ice fishing a ton, and you typically, after a few times, you're maybe like, gosh, I really wish there was something to spice it up or give me a little bit of, excitement when I'm out here. Maybe on some of those days where it's like, I just feel like I'm doing the same thing all the time, and you kind of lose that kind of mid-season, late season, and you're like, what can I do that's a little bit different? Competition is always a great way to do it. And especially even if you're out ice fishing by yourself, that can be hard. That's where there's these tournaments that are done. I live in Minnesota, so of course I'm going to talk a lot about Minnesota, but the next thing I'm going to talk about is across the country. So you'll be able to hopefully participate in that. Most states, I believe, have a DNR website where they actually have permits that are needed for certain size fishing tournaments, including ice fishing tournaments. Minnesota does. I'll link this down below as well. So it's fishing tournaments for the year. They don't have the 2024 one out yet. This is the 2023 tournament list, but you can click on the link and it pulls up literally a page. In fact, let me pull it up so I can show you guys. Make sure it's showing for you. It looks like it will. Spinning. All right. So here's an example of what you can see on this. You've got, so this was January 7th. Again, this is 2023. So this is not January in like a month. This is last January. So it's typically the very end of this month, early next month, where they'll come out with this for the 2024 season. But what you can see, I need to make this much bigger for you guys. I am sorry. Here we go. We're getting there. I think you can see it soon. All right. I'm going to use the zoom tool too. So my zoom tool doesn't work in Adobe. So you're going to have to bear with me here. So you've got the date, you've got a permit number, and they outline basically that they're licensed to do it. So they pay a fee to do it. What you can do when you go to this website, especially if you're in Minnesota, because I know it exists, but I think all the other states do something similar. I'll try to find them and link them all online on my website and in the comments of this video too, if it's helpful for you. But you can see what the tournament is, what lake it's going to be in, the species of the tournament, primary county. You can see the estimated prize payouts. You can see who to reach out to if you have questions, what they're predicting there to be in terms of number of entrants. Boats, obviously this is ice fishing, so there's going to be 0 boats here. But if you went all the way down to say here, I'm assuming this is open water, you can see they have numbers of boats in here as well. So 25, 40, 10. So it's kind of a cool way just to like scan through and see January 7th, 7th, 14th, 14th. So on the 14th, I might be like, okay, which one's closer to me? Which one's got a higher payout? Looks like this Monaga CNC Family Fishing Derby I probably want to enter into. $5 entry fee. If I have questions, I can call or email David. Here's the time. It's a 2-hour time window. So this is really cool that the DNR does this. It's a really good way to find the tournaments in your area. The other, and one of my favorite ways, is this app called Fish Donkey. It's a virtual tournament platform, competition platform, where it goes off of length instead of weight. So they have a Google, an Android app, they have an Apple app, and they have a desktop website that you can log into, which I've got pulled up right here. So you can see just some of the tournaments that are listed here. So there's King of Sturgeon, Winter 23-24. There's the Ice Queen tournament here. Let's click on this one. Ice Queen obviously is for female only anglers, but there's a ton in here. So this is the 6th annual Ice Queen tournament. You can see a little bit about it. You can see the rules. You can see the prizes and sponsors, photos. You can see of some of the fish that are entered, the location. So this is any public ice in the USA. If you want to participate, you have to be a female. It says that in here somewhere. I'm not going to read it right now, but the prizes are for a crappie stringer of 10 fish, a walleye stringer of 10 fish, and they organize it really, really well. Let me see if I can show you one of the tournaments I'm in right now that might be able to show you how it looks. I haven't entered any fish yet this year, but let's see if it pulls up, because I'm in a tournament that I believe started a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, the USA National Winter Classic, which started on December 1st and is going through March 15th. So if you want to compete with me, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I'm making it harder on myself. But this is a buy-in. I think it was $50 to get into. And then you can see here all the different categories. So largest brown trout, you can see here a 19.5. So you can actually click on people that entered them and you can see the photos. And then if they're bad photos or somebody lies about something, it'll get denied in the application. So that's another good way to find tournaments if you're interested. One of my favorite lakes to fish some of the contests out there is on Lake Mille Lacs, Nitty's Hunters Point. If you're local here in Minnesota or you want to come over for any of these, they have this on their Facebook page, but they've got a lot of tournaments coming up. I usually partake in the Justin Morneau tournament. This is a walleye and perch tournament. Then they have the Hunters Point Perch Tournament in the Perch Party. Ducks Unlimited has a banquet. There's a lot of really cool things that different resorts do on the lake. So like Leech Lake does them, Winnie, you name it, they're out there. But the way to find all of those, they all also have to be on that Minnesota DNR website. So make sure that you're going to your local DNR page for those as well. We talked about the other thing I was going to tell you about that is on my website, alextim.com, I'll have another tab going up here in the next week or so that has all of the ice fishing tournaments that I know of and how to find them in your area. So keep going to my website for resources and stuff. You can do a lot of different things on here. And I have a lot of good links on the page. We talked about Red Lake already. 35 people were rescued. Be safe out on the ice. Here's one that was really interesting that actually just happened today, and I think is just absolutely ridiculous. Same lake, Upper Red Lake. That's right. That is a plane that tried to land on the lake. So literally last night, Sunday night, they were doing the rescues on Red Lake, right? Today is Tuesday. One day went by, and then somebody was really smart and thought that they could land a plane on the lake. That didn't work. What ended up happening, this was around 9:20 a.m. today, that somebody tried to land a Cessna 172 Skyhawk plane on Upper Red. Hey, there's flying ice fishing all over the country, and this is a thing, but the ice isn't ready for it yet. So I thought that this was interesting. Nobody was injured. There were 2 people on the plane. They got wet up to their middle of their body. Local resort people came out, brought them in, got them some dry clothes. I'm not sure what happened to the plane, if there were fines or anything, but apparently what happened is the pilot said that he found safe ice to land. He started landing based off the look of it, I guess. He started landing, and because there's no snow on the ice, he couldn't slow down. And so he just kept sliding way further than he thought. He hit a patch of ice that was about 2 inches thick. The nose of the plane dipped in, and their plane sits. So really interesting. Stay safe out there, guys. Our weather here in Minnesota doesn't look like it's really going to get cold until about January, and then we'll start hitting some cold spells. So be safe if you're going out there. Go with a buddy, wear a float suit, have your ice picks, spud bar. Make sure you're cautious if you're going out there. All right, a couple of deals I want to tell you about here on the stream. So this is one that I'm actually going to pick up. I have a fish camera already, but what I'm looking for is that fish camera that's super tiny. Just drop it down if you just want to see structure when you're hole hopping, if you're drilling holes, something you don't need to be super careful with, that's not super heavy. You don't got to worry about a bunch of different parts, a huge battery or anything. I'm going to pick one of these up. This is normally anywhere that you go, it's $280. This is $179.97 at Cabela's. This is a Cabela's special. Normally it has yellow on it. This is the AquaView Micro Stealth. It's normally $280. This is a special unit that I believe they got special pricing on and had it colored in blue, which I like the blue. So I'm probably going to pick one of these ones up for my Micro Stealth. Doesn't have the best video quality, but you can see here in this picture just how small it is, and really easy just to drop down, see what the structure is that you're dealing with down there, throw it in your pocket, and you're good to go. So sometimes it's nice to have the nice unit, which like I'm going to have in my ice fishing videos. So you guys can see the fish reactions and whatnot. Like that's nice to have a big camera that's like high def and everything. But for just seeing structure to make sure you're on a good spot when you're hopping around, you don't want to be lugging anything big around. This is actually a really good deal that's out there right now. Ion, if you follow me on Facebook, on Alex Tim Fishing, if you're not following me yet, go follow me. I post about a lot of good deals when I see them come up to save you guys some money. Ion has been doing some crazy deals on their website. So this is ioniceaugers.com. And then they have this thing at the top that just says sale. Right now, it's free shipping on orders over 100, but they have some crazy deals. They have an 8-inch Ion Gen 1. So this is not the newest, but it is a Gen 1 that's $349.99. They have a Gen 1 upgrade bundle for $199 that they're calling the Ion Tune-Up Bundle, where you can actually get an 8-inch composite bit. You get an extra 5 amp hour battery. You get the power adapter with it for $199. So you're essentially, what is that, $550 out the door with an extra battery adapter to like plug into like your shack lights or phone charger type of thing off of your battery, and then in a composite bit. They got a ton of things. I'm not going to go through all of these in particular, but they're really good deals. One of the crazy deals that's out there right now that a lot of people are taking advantage of is this guy right here. So this is the 8-inch Ion ultralight auger bit. So this is the composite 8-inch bit, $79.99. It's normally $229. This is a composite bit. It weighs less than 4 pounds. And yes, you can get the adapter and hook this up to your drill if you want to. Crazy, crazy deal. And tell you what, Joe Holland, thanks for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. Nice seeing you here. When you come back out to Minnesota, we got to get out on the ice, but thanks for dropping by. Really, really appreciate it. All right. So one thing I want to show you, as you guys know, I don't work with any companies. Ion might not like me because of this, but I'm going to show you something. So if you add this to your cart, again, remember, this is 65% off. Add it to your cart, go to view cart. I'm going to save you some money. Go to checkout. I get no benefit. This is not an affiliate deal. I'm not getting referral bonuses or anything like that. You just go here and do it. If you type into the cart, Ion, oh boy, what's going on? Ion, okay, why is it not working? Okay, evidently I have an add-on that's trying to do it for me. So if you type in Ion 10, you get 10% off. Guess what? If you type in Ion 20, it doesn't work. I wonder if they stopped it. This worked last night. Ion 20 doesn't work. Okay. Ion 40 doesn't work. All right. So evidently I can just save you 10%. Last night, the 20 and the 40 worked. The 40, you had to use a made up email in order for it to work. We got 40% off. I should have placed an order last night, but I didn't. But right now, if you go and type in Ion 10, you can get another 10% off. Don't tell them I sent you. That way, hopefully they don't know where it came from. The video can stay up and everybody can save a ton of money. So I'm going to get past this, but make sure you rewatch it. If you have any questions, it's just ioniceaugers.com. If I save you some money, let me know in the comments that these deals, you guys like these types of things that I do. Again, a lot of these things I don't get anything off of. I don't work with these brands. So drop it down in the comments if it's helpful for you. Appreciate you guys for letting me know. It keeps me wanting to do it more and more and more. So really appreciate it. All right. These next ones, there's not anything specific here that I want to show you in terms of the deals, but Shields is a retailer here. A lot of people probably know about them. They're online as well. They have a lot of ice fishing gear deals going right now because of the Christmas holiday that's coming up. Check them out. This is the same deal they had going for Black Friday. This is the LVS 32 ice fishing bundle. It's not a bad deal. It's not the best deal I've ever seen, but it's not a bad deal. And if you just want to buy it and be ready to go to hit the ice, the battery in here will last you, maybe 4 hours out on the ice. $18.99. I'd recommend upgrading the battery. I like Amped Outdoors battery, and I do have a promo code down below that saves you 10% off Amped Outdoors if you're interested. But that's a good deal. They got the buddy heaters. Like I said, the big buddies on sale, $20 off down to $109.99. Black Friday, the best price on this heater was $89.99 for like 1 hour, and then it was $99.99. So this isn't a bad deal. Basically, Black Friday price plus $10. You can get reconditioned ones for cheaper too. But you can see there's a ton of deals here on gear from Shields. So check it out. I'll put this link because it is the ice fishing sale deals specifically. It's everything that's on sale from ice fishing in this link. So I'll make sure that I put this link down below for you so you can save some money. Cabela's has a similar deal going right now where they've got a lot of things on sale for the Christmas holiday. You can see all the deals here. Nothing in particular that stood out to me, but a lot of really good deals here. Fish USA has some deals going as well. The biggest one that I would say is save 20 on orders of 120 or more. This is what, like 15% off or whatever it equates to be, like 13% off or whatever that is. Save code 20 in the cart. They've got a lot of gear that's already on sale as well. So check those things out. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. We haven't done this live stream in a couple of weeks. We'll make sure we're getting back to weekly doing it as much as I can. You're going to see ice fishing videos coming out really soon from me. And if you're looking for more information on ice fishing gear and deals and things that are out there, make sure you check out the other videos. They're going to pop up on the screen right now. And until next time, take it easy. Thanks again, all. Tight lines. Stay safe out there this year.